December 24, 1999. The air crackled with the festive spirit. At New Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport, families bustled towards their gates, excited for holiday reunions. Among them were the 176 passengers boarding Indian Airlines Flight IC-814, a routine flight bound for Kathmandu. They carried with them dreams of snowy Himalayan landscapes and the warmth of loved ones. Little did they know, a nightmare was about to unfold at 36,000 feet. The plane, an Airbus A300, taxied down the runway and lifted into the evening sky. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow, a sense of normalcy pervaded the cabin. Passengers settled into their seats, some lost in books, others chatting excitedly. Children peered out of windows, their eyes wide with wonder. The flight crew prepared for a smooth journey, their minds perhaps already on Christmas celebrations. It was the eve of a day for peace and goodwill, a stark contrast to the events that were about to transpire. 45 minutes into the flight, the illusion of tranquility shattered. 5 men, their faces hidden behind scarves, stormed the cockpit. Armed with pistols and grenades, they brought the plane under their control. Screams pierced the air as the hijackers, members of the Harkat-ul-Mujahideen, a Pakistan-based terrorist group, made their intentions clear. This was no ordinary hijacking for personal gain. It was a terrifying act of terrorism, with the passengers and crew as pawns in a deadly game. Panic rippled through the cabin. The festive cheer evaporated, replaced by a chilling fear. Passengers huddled together, their faces etched with terror. The hijackers, their voices laced with fanaticism, issued a chilling set of demands to the Indian government. The primary objective, the release of several imprisoned militants. The alternative, dire consequences for everyone on board. As the plane veered sharply off course, the world watched in horror, the gravity of the situation sinking in. This was a race against time, a desperate fight for the lives of the innocent. The hijackers, desperate for fuel, directed the pilots to make an unscheduled landing in Lahore, Pakistan. As the plane touched down, a wave of relief washed over the passengers. They dared to hope the ordeal would end quickly, but their hopes were soon dashed. Pakistan refused the hijackers' demand to refuel the aircraft. A tense standoff ensued, with the hijackers growing agitated. Negotiators in Lahore attempted to reason with the terrorists. Every passing minute felt like an eternity. Inside the plane, the atmosphere was suffocating. The passengers clung to the slimmest hope of survival. Frustrated, the hijackers resorted to violence. They shot a young passenger, Rupin Katyal, tossing his body onto the tarmac. This act of barbarity sent shockwaves across the globe. Section 4. Dubai, a refueling and rising tensions. With their demands unmet and tensions escalating, the hijackers ordered the pilots to take off once more. Their next destination, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. The flight to Dubai was a blur of fear and anxiety for those on board. Every engine hum, every air pocket amplified their terror. The hijackers, emboldened by their actions in Lahore, grew increasingly erratic, their threats more menacing. The world watched, a mixture of anger and helplessness simmering as the crisis unfolded. In Dubai, the plane was allowed to refuel, a small victory in the larger battle against terror that was being waged. But the hijackers' demands remained unmet, and the situation seemed no closer to a resolution. Negotiations continued, but the hijackers, fueled by a dangerous ideology, seemed unwilling to compromise. The passengers and crew remained trapped, their fate hanging precariously in the balance. The world held its breath, hoping against hope for a peaceful resolution. Section 5. Kandahar, the Lion's Den. With time running out, the hijackers forced the pilots to make a final, desperate flight. Their destination, Kandahar, Afghanistan, a city firmly under the control of the Taliban. The arrival in Kandahar marked a turning point in the crisis. The Taliban, known for their strict interpretation of Islamic law and harboring of various militant groups, were now entangled in the hostage situation. The world watched with bated breath, the stakes higher than ever before. India, already wary of the Taliban's support for Kashmiri separatists, found itself in a precarious position. The hijackers, finding refuge in Taliban-controlled territory, felt a sense of victory. They had effectively used the passengers and crew of IC-814 as human shields, exploiting the complexities of international relations and the Taliban's willingness to defy global pressure. Negotiations, now involving Indian government officials and Taliban intermediaries, took on a new urgency. The world watched, a mixture of hope and apprehension hanging in the air. The hijackers, emboldened by their perceived success, continued to dictate terms, their demands non-negotiable. Section 6. The Aftermath and the Price of Freedom. After a grueling 7 days, the ordeal came to an end. Under immense pressure, India agreed to the hijackers' demands. 3 militants were released from Indian prisons. The freed passengers and crew, exhausted and relieved, disembarked onto Afghan soil. The world breathed a sigh of relief, but the scars ran deep. The release of the militants was a bitter pill for India. It exposed the vulnerabilities of a nation grappling with terrorism. The Kandahar hijacking was a watershed moment, confronting global terrorism. It reminded the world that fighting terrorism requires cooperation and resolve. Hey everyone, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss any of our new videos. Let's get started. Subscribing is super simple. Just click the red button below. All done? Awesome! And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and tell your friends. See you in the next one. Bye!